less hot lately. That's really good, right?
Less hot.
Yeah.
It cools up after the sun goes down like it's supposed to.
It's not beatingly sunny. I was like, do I really need to put the reflective things in the car right now? I'm not quite sure. Hi there. At the beginning of the month, I run a publishing organization called Scars Publications. We do 2 literary magazines, and March 1st marked the release of 2 magazine issues. I'm going to read from both of them for you. The first one is from the Mirror magazine, Down in the Dirt magazine. This is volume 116. It's called Spitfire. Spitfire. This is artwork from J. Paradiso. He sends artwork, and I said, that's really cool, and this will be toward Halloween, so why not? So why not? It seemed like a good idea to me. So I would like to read 2 pieces from the back of this book for you. They were from a show from the Cafe Aloha in Chicago from years ago. And I'm going to read just 2 of them, because one of them, the third one in here, is also in the other book. I'm going to read that one now. So consider these 2 pieces. What do you need, darling? What's the matter?
It's photographing me. It shouldn't be. It should be.
Then you have to look for a
It's
thing
on
that
reverse.
has flip it around.
How do you do that?
Where's it then?
Is it this thing?
Oh,
What
I
do
think
you
you're
know?
right. Well done.
Thank
You're
you.
a 21st century man.
Hard to believe I can
16th
do
century
that.
man.
So I will read to you 2 poems. One of them is a long one. This first one is called Communication. Now that we have the information superhighway, we can throw out into the open our screams, our cries for help so much faster than we could before. Our pleas become computer blips, tiny bits of energy traveling through razor-thin wires, traveling through space, to be left for someone to decipher when they find the time. I got into work the other day, and I got the messages out of my voicemail. Mike actually left me a pager number and told me to contact him with some information. Another Mike told me to call him in his office between 10:30 and noon. Lori told me to check my email because she sent me a message that I just had to read. So I first returned Mike's phone call, but he wasn't in, so I left a message with a coworker, and then I dialed the number for Mike's pager, listened to a beep, then dialed my own number, and then I got online, checked my email, read a note from Ben, emptied out the junk mail. Realizing that I didn't actually get a hold of anybody, I tried to call my friend Sherry, but I got her answering machine. So I said, "Hi, it's me, Janet. We haven't talked in a while." At which point I realized there was nothing left to say. "So, give me a call. We should really get together and talk." Sarah and I went to Carol's wedding rehearsal, which was a bad thing because we were running late and we were standing up in the wedding and we were stuck in traffic. And I asked, "Sarah, do you have the cell phone? You have a cell phone, don't you?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, do you know Carol's number? You know, maybe we can call her and tell her that we're going to be late." And she said, "No, I don't have it. Do you?" And I said, "No." I was out at a bar with Dave, and I was trying to explain to him why I hadn't talked to my friend Erin in a while. You see, we usually email each other, and when we do, we hit reply, and we get to an email from somebody who can just, actually start setting up a new message, you can just hit reply. And usually with our emails, we would always have a letter, a question at the end of the letter. So we would answer that question with a reply and send it back, and this is how we've been communicating back and forth by just keep hitting reply to each other. So one time he sent me an email. I got an email from him and there was no question at the end. So I didn't have to send him a response. So I didn't. And we never thought to start a new conversation and email with each other again. So we just lost touch. And then it just occurred to me how difficult it had become to type in an extra line of text, because that's really why I lost touch with them. And then it occurred to me that no matter how many different forms of communication we have, we'll still find a way to lose touch with one another. Now that we have the information superhighway, we can throw out into the open our screams, our cries for help so much faster than we could before. But what if we don't want to communicate or forget how? Too busy leaving messages, voicemails, emails, pager numbers, forgetting to call back. What if we forget how to communicate? I wanted to buy tickets for a concert, but I was shopping with my sister and I wasn't near a ticket outlet. So my sister said, "Oh, I have a portable phone. You can call from there if you'd like." So she gave me this phone and I looked at all these extra buttons and she said, "Just press power button, but hold it down for at least 5 seconds until the panel lights up. And then dial the number, but use the area code first because this phone is a 630 area code. And then press send. And then when you're done with the call, you have to press end and then make sure the lights turn off." So I turned it on, dialed the number, pressed send, pressed my head against the tiny phone, and the line was busy and I couldn't get through. I once wanted to get in touch with an old friend of mine from high school, Vince, but the last I had heard is he went to Marquette University. Well, that was like 5 years ago. He could be anywhere. And so I talked to a friend or two that knew him, but they said they lost touch with him too. So I searched on the internet to see if his name was on any websites or if he had an email address. He didn't. So I figured I probably wouldn't find it. And all this time, I knew that his parents had the same house that they always did. I could just look up his parents' phone number in the phone book, give them a call, say I'm an old high school friend of Vince's, but I never did. And then I realized why. You see, I could search the internet for hours and no one would know that I was looking for someone. But now, with one single phone call, I'd make it known to his entire family that I wanted to see him enough to call after all these years. And I didn't want him to know that. Of course not. So I never called. Now that we have the information superhighway, we could throw out from the open our screams, our cries for help so much faster than we could before. But then the question begs itself, who is there to listen? I'll do one more show. I know. And on a slightly different theme. This one's from the same show and it's called And What I Want to Know. I've been dreaming of you lately. Usually, in my dreams, I see you for just a short while, and then you have to leave. Maybe you tell me you miss me. Maybe you kiss me. Last night, when you had left me once again, I drove after you to the airport so I could say goodbye to you one more time. In my dreams, you're always with me. In my dreams, you're always leaving me. In my dreams, I run after you just to say goodbye again. And what I want to know is, when are these dreams going to stop? And what I want to know is, are you dreaming of me too? I daydream about you in the mornings when my legs are so tangled up in my sheets. I close my eyes so I can feel you there curled up against me. Why do I have to get out of this bed? And what I want to know is, if you saw me hit by a car, my lifeless body lying in the street, would you hold me up against you? Would you hold my limp arms in your coarse hands? Would you rock me to sleep? Would you cry? Would you not ever want to say goodbye? And what I want to know is, if you saw that car speeding toward me, would you instantly run to me because life is no longer life without the one you love? I know what I would say. I know my answers. And what I want to know is, if I will live like this forever. And what I know is, if I'm going to suffer this alone. And what I want to know is, are you dreaming of me too? I will save the last one from the other book for you guys, and thank you.